problem is that they're getting into live service games. I think the problem is that the live service games that they're making are bad. That's the problem. Live service isn't the problem. Bad games are the problem.
Alright, gamers and gamettes, what is going on? My name is Tanek127 and welcome back to another video. And guys, in today's video I have a really interesting topic that I want to talk to you all about in regards to IGN and one of their latest takes with looter shooters and once again Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now, first and foremost, big shout out to Gold because, you know, he's who I put the quote by in the beginning of this video. And you guys are going to see why his quote is so important for what I have to say. So, first and foremost, let's get this out of the way right now. This isn't going to be another video defending Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I've already thrown my opinion out there. If you're wondering what that is, long story short, I like it. And, you know, there are actual issues with the game that I have a problem with. I'm not jumping on, you know, the bandwagon of disliking the game and stuff like that, which, you know, I just believe is a hate train going around. But that's just my personal opinion. You can think and believe with that what you will. What I want to talk about today is one of IGN's takes about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League and, you know, the whole live service looter shooter trend in general. And they're hoping that the hate that this game is getting kills this, you know, I guess facade of live service looter shooters or loot game kind of things. And, you know, the thing that bothers me about that is you know, what like a lot of people who are against IGN always say, you can't spell ignorant without IGN. But I'm not 100% blaming IGN on this take, because I believe they're just victims at the end of the day to what's happened. One big problem when it comes to live service games, straight up, is a lot of developers have done this wrong, and it's done nothing but put sour taste in people's mouths. So at the end of the day, you really can't get angry at every single person who says, oh, I hate live service, blah, 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 blah. Look what people are doing with it. So I don't get too angry when it comes to that. Even, you know, me being a guy that loves live service games. Me, for example, you guys are going to call me crazy, but I enjoyed games like Anthem. I was hoping, you know, Anthem was going to have a long, healthy future. I even liked Marvel's Avengers. I actually thought, you know, that one was going to stay around for a while and actually make a comeback because it actually looked like it was at one point in time. And I really do, you know, like Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, you know, and there's been a lot of other odd in and out games that, you know, that I've liked that most people aren't really a fan of. So, you know, I am the weirdo in the room when it comes to this topic, and I have no problem admitting that. But like I said, when it comes to live service games and IGN, so long story short, I can't say how, you know, their opinion on this also is, because they're a huge company. And the people who make commentaries over that company, I don't know if it's their opinion or if, you know, if there's a higher up saying, hey, this is a topic I think will be popular, make this, or it could cost you your job, or, you know, you won't get paid, or etc., etc. Like me, I'm a solo YouTuber. I can say my opinion. I can do whatever hell I want. There's nobody over me. There's no one, you know, doing that. But IGN as a company, I'm not sure how that works. So, you know, I'm not sure if, you know, if somebody was forced to make a take on that because, you know, it's getting views and traction right now, or if, you know, if that's something they actually believe. I'm not trying to accuse, you know, IGN's opinion of being bought or anything. I'm just saying, you know, it's not like it's a solo company. But long story short, what they were saying in the video is, you know, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is an example of many live service bad games. You know, if you guys have been paying any attention to the live service trend right now, you'll know the story of Anthem. You know, you'll know how Marvel's Avengers went, and yada, yada, yada. I don't even have to keep going down the list. But it's like I go to say, this problem is not live service. It's not looter shooters. It's the developers that are, you know, making some of these games. Now, you know, a lot of these games, they all have bad things that happened to them that made them go the wrong direction. Like, for example, Anthem. Most people don't know this. Do you know that Anthem could have been saved if they were simply using Unreal Engine 4 or 5 instead of Frostbite? One of Anthem's biggest problems and why it had so many bugs and issues was that BioWare had no experience using the Frostbite engine, and it was very difficult for them to create the game and make more content on it, which is why Anthem was getting such slow content updates. And they made the plans for Anthem next, but in the end, the criticism, the backlash, the loss of money was too great, and EA pulled the plug. For those who don't know that, that's a little history lesson for you. And a lot of these games all have, some kind of story where, something could have went wrong. Now, granted, there's also the whole thing where these games are always different than what the company usually makes. For example, BioWare, people probably want another Mass Effect or a Dragon Age or something like that. And instead, they got a third-person version of Destiny. Square Enix, that's self-explanatory. They're known for Final Fantasy and stuff like that. I'm sure when it came to Avengers, people wanted a single-player, story-driven superhero game more than anything. Instead, they tried to do the whole live service thing and stuff like that. And like I said, guys, the whole live service thing, it can work. Developers just have to do it right. Let's look at some past examples and games that actually avoided going live service that are regretting it now because their fans are actually upset about it. Let's start with those two games. There's two really serious games I can give examples of. Now, these games were not, they were moderately successful, but they weren't crazy huge hits or anything like that blew up and performed all kinds of crazy numbers. They weren't like Fortnite viral or anything. But two good examples of games that could have used the live service treatments were Outriders and Godfall. And guys, I kid you not, I'll show you pictures here on the screen of a couple tweets from fans, that write those Twitter accounts regularly that say, man, I wish I wish we knew of an upcoming sequel, or I wish, this game was still being supported. I wish it was getting more content and stuff like that. And the story with these two games is where they were both built as loot-based games. They were fully complete, had decent end games to them, and they each just got, like one or two small expansions at it, and then the developers just called it quits, so they're going to, work on their next project. Now, while that's, a real simple, fair, paid for path and everything, a lot of their fan bases are sitting there kicking themselves like, damn, if these guys, took the live service route, there'd still be so much more cool stuff coming out for this game and yada yada. And like I said, guys, I'll leave links to both of these Twitter accounts down in the video description. You guys can go through some of their Twitter posts and read the responses for yourself. You don't have to believe what you're seeing here on the screen. You don't have to believe me. I follow both of these games. I've played the crap out of them both. I've been following them for years, and I've been watching it for a while. I'm even one of those guys that say, hey, I wish those games got more content. I loved Godfall. Godfall was an epic game that deserved a lot more content in my opinion. I feel like Godfall could have went a long way if it got more updates and was supported longer. But hey, that's just my personal opinion. And then also, when it comes, you have those that where people wish that they could have went live service, but you also have games like Final Fantasy 14. Remember, that was a live service. Anybody remember the days where Final Fantasy 14 first came out and its end game was composed of nothing but of two dungeons and running some old story content to try and farm your Darklight and artifact gear? Anybody remember the original Tomestones? It was literally Wanderer's Palace, Amdapor Keep, and farming the other end game story dungeons just to get your tomes to prepare for the raids that they were getting ready to add, which were the Binding Coil of Bahamut, and of course Crystal Tower, which eventually came out later. All of these games, they usually start small. That's how it goes, and then they evolve into something bigger. Look how Destiny started. Look at Fortnite. Fortnite was literally, just a build 'em up tower defense kind of game. Then they made a battle royale. The battle royale was doing okay. They decided to keep adding content onto it and stuff like that. The live service formula has been proven over and over to work. It just depends on how developers go about it. And there are examples where this can be done in a fair way, and there are examples where this can be done in a bad way. One bad thing developers do is they take a full $60, $70 product, say, hey, it's a live service, an incomplete game full of bugs and all that stuff, and because they think throwing the live service title on there, it justifies that the game's incomplete. That's not the case. A better example of this, of where it's done more fairly, is something like Xbox game preview titles, where they'll say, hey, this game is in game preview. You can pay to play this game early, but there will be bugs, there will be issues, you will be participating in things to support future development of the game and stuff like that. Those are the kind of examples where this is done more fairly. And, you've had perfect examples of games that have, done this route, and they have all come out pretty good. Games like Sea of Thieves, games like Grounded and stuff like that. Like I said, but like I was, mentioning in the beginning of the video, I'm not going to say IGN is 100% at fault at this, but because they are such a big publication, they do have a responsibility here, and they are pushing a narrative out there that is going to hurt a lot of games that could be potential really good live service contenders in the future. Like, for example, a lot of people, we're going through this thing with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League right now. There's a lot of people who really enjoyed and loved an upcoming game called The First Descendant. For those who don't know, there's an upcoming looter shooter that is going to be free to play and cross-play on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC platforms. This game's beta was received in an amazing way, and people were loving it. And because, you have giant publications like IGN and other places, just bashing live service because, there are a few bad apples out there and developers doing this the wrong way, you're giving a lot of these future games, negative press before they're even here. And that's just, something not really fair to developers or players at the end of the day. At the end of the day, that's going to hurt everybody. And I just think it's really silly that, IGN is kind of milking this, and using Suicide Squad as a punching bag, an example to hold out there to show people, hey, this type of game is bad, when really they could be saying, hey, there are some developers out there making this mistake. Let's showcase some live service games that have done this better and blah, blah, blah. And this is more of the kind of product that we expect. You guys have a billion examples of live service games out there that have done great. Hell, Asmongold even mentioned one in the video that I quoted him from. Later on in the video, he goes to talk about, how Blizzard made a live service in 2006 or 2007. I'm pretty sure he was talking about World of Warcraft. And look where that went. I mean, I don't even think we need to discuss World of Warcraft numbers, do we? I'm just saying. I don't know. I hope, this video gets out there and, just reaches some people. And I hope y'all understand my point and reconsider something when it comes to live service. I'm not sitting here telling you, to love Suicide Squad or, have some sympathy for Anthem because it died in a certain way and stuff like that. No. I'm just saying, don't blame live service. Blame the people that are making the bad games. Anyway, guys, y'all enjoyed today's video, smash that like button. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace out. Have a good one.